Hey, ladies and gents. I just wanted to hop on before you hear this episode real quick on the Oklahoma Public Schools Bible mandate, um, which again has a very serious thing. Again, shout out our teachers, shout out the students, right? Because what you don't realize with education is that there is a serious there's a serious necessity for something else in society that's needed during that educational process from pre-K to 12th grade, right? I know everybody tries to do this lovey-dovey dance around the topic, and that's fine, right? To each their own. But at the same time, you got to recognize the serious danger that's there, right? And here on this podcast, we don't deal with the lovey-dovey part. We'll let you know about the danger that's there. People can poo-poo it, so be it. Again, we get into a very serious topic, speaking on some things that happen in the Congo. Again, different things dealing with the Bible and it being mandated upon people. Whenever you see that, you ought to be aware. Because again, God is not asking for a thing to be mandated. God, not he. Because again, you have to recognize that there is male and female here with God. And again, you talk to some people, they'll tell you there is no gender in God. And to be quite frank, I understand where they're coming from. Because again, if you are dealing in a standpoint where something is made where it wasn't, then that means there is nothing there to begin with. But I digress. So again, just for the basis of the class, we're just going to deal with God as both male and female. Okay. You have been taught as male because we live in a male-dominated society. However, ladies, understand that your creatress is mighty and powerful just the same, right? So be encouraged with that. That's a real thing, right? That's real. So, yes, that's just some stuff here. And again, most of the defense is in the mind. People going and telling folks things aren't real. People going and making up mystical stories about what ain't real. Just telling y'all what's out there, okay? But these are just some of the things to prepare you when you go to hear this episode, message, whatever you'd like to call it, right? So we humbly submit this to y'all, ladies and gentlemen, us, the 500 plus strong, right? Thank you for your support, ladies and gentlemen, because again, it is the listener that drives radio. It is the viewer that drives TV. It is the listener that drives podcasts as much as it is that which is on the other side of the mic, as they say, right? So thank y'all very much, and we will talk to you soon. All right, okay, and a good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you and welcome in us, the 500 strong, who listen to this podcast here called A Different View. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Bible talks about the idea of for such a time as this, there's no lies there. There's no cap. Oh man, y'all know your boy KJ on this podcast. We do not play along with the group, right? See, here on this podcast, we believe in the idea that you are supposed to stay away, that you should come away, that you should abstain from the very appearance of evil, right? This was taught to you in the New Testament. Coming away and being separate is an idea taught throughout the whole Bible, right? Just that one verse to come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, right? But this idea in Esther, Queen Esther, because you know them women, man, them women. Y'all look up the story of Esther. See, again, we talking about pay attention in the Bible, man. Pay it. Please, please, please. Not the stuff that they force down your throat. You know, we ain't even going to talk about it from the standpoint of queen, not queen, whatever she was used for, right? We're not going that route. I'm not going to go that route. However, this is Esther 4:14. For thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then there shall be enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. Again, this is a lot of back and forth about, see, you go back into the time of the Middle East, right? The rise of Babylon, right? Again, we're talking about, familiarize yourself with world history, y'all. You ain't even got to be world historians, okay? We're just talking about familiarize yourself with a basic thing here. And who knows whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Ladies and gentlemen, we sit on, and because of the grace that is given to us by the Creator, believe it. Oh, please believe it, please, as they say, right? This is for such a time as this. And this is not to be political. And again, that word political is used out of context, because when you say the word political, coming from to politic, deals with you talking about things that mean something to you. I know that it means specifically of the state, right? Or of a city, of a landmass and the people therein. We understand that. But again, it's about something that means something to you, right? The things that you talk about concerning the people and the state and the city would mean something to you, I would assume, right? I know to some it don't. And they use it as a ploy and a way for them to get more money from you. But the topic we are going to get into today, ladies and gentlemen, to my Christian brothers, as a matter of fact, anybody who believes in or doesn't believe in anything, y'all pay attention to this episode today. You are going to hear something unequivocal and very definitive from your boy KJ today, who is Christian, by the way. But I'm done on watching people who are supposed to be of strong belief be used as paupers by the adversary. You know, the X-Men cartoon, this one that just passed, showed what the adversary looked like in a real sense. Storm loses her powers because, again, humans cannot get away from just allowing those who have been given certain abilities by the great designer alone. They can't leave them alone. They got to keep persecuting them. See, that's got nothing to do with you twisting the Bible. We're going to talk about the Bible today, ladies and gentlemen, because, again, it's being used by your government, right? That is for you to hurt others. I know how they're going to come out and tell you. But all you need to do is do a simple historical study to show how much the Bible has been used. Holy words coming from God, manipulated and twisted by humans to hurt other humans. Because hurting people hurt people, ladies and gentlemen. Believe that. I know y'all got a problem with Joyce Meyer. See, again, if judgment starts in the house of God, then judgment got to start. Begin. Constitute or continue in, right? Through the middle of, we're talking as far as the time of beginning to end, right? So beginning, in, middle, and it's got to end with the house of God. Stop worrying about the Islam. Don't stop worrying about your Islamic cousins. We're talking as far as a family here, right? Stop worrying about your Jewish cousins. See, the family dynamic is truly broken, which is why a lot of times we miss some of this stuff. We do. We do. And I said we. So before y'all get on KJ talking down to people. No. We are missing it. Led by greed, but we are missing it because we're following after greed. Happy July 1st, y'all. Welcome into another episode of A Different View, right? I may have missed that, getting off on this topic, right? Because your boy going to go for a minute on this. And then we're going to go on about our day because, again, this also is a non-issue. Figure out your own salvation with fear and trembling is what the Bible tells you. And here we go messing around with how we talk about a thing. So, where is the article? When will we get it, ladies and gentlemen? When will we get it? Using things to set you free to bind you. That's how this works. You know, talking about this thing, we're just going to bring it up real quick. And then we're going to go on from it. Bronny and LeBron James. Do you know how damaging that is? I know people see it on the surface. Ooh, LeBron James going to be playing with his son. Oh, what a special father-son moment. No, y'all playing in the NBA as father and son. You're not playing in your own league. Yeah, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? Shout out to Dak Prescott. Here we go. I don't put the problems of the Cowboys at Dak Prescott's feet. Yeah, he throws the interceptions, but that's not the whole of the team, y'all. Come on, right? Just like the whole of the situation is not LeBron James using his billion-dollar status to sign his son up for somebody else's league that uses the Negro and throws them away after they're done. They can't talk about anything that deals with their community. But you let it happen the other way around, it'll come out. We talking, we walking. As Stone Cold Steve Austin used to say, we're gonna walk we're gonna stomp a mud hole in you and walk it dry, right? Good old Texan colloquialisms. Man, we just passed Juneteenth. Shout out Galveston, Texas, man. Folks keep thinking Houston, Texas, all these areas, man. People keep thinking this thing is European country. They got to stop doing that. We share this thing down here. And because we share this thing down here, you got to acknowledge, and apologize for not acknowledging correctly the very dark skin tone presence on these lands when Europe came calling. And all of this mess that has spawned on since then, including this article here that you can find on Microsoft Start from NBC News 2 days ago. And I didn't sit on it and talk about it until I was looking through my social medias and started seeing folks go on and on and on about it. And I said, you know what? This is a good topic to talk about because you got to put it to rest, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to show you both sides of a thing so you can get a different view. Christians are okay hiding behind that Bible. Lord, they're okay hiding behind that Bible. They won't turn to the God that wrote it, but they are okay hiding. I want y'all to hear me very good today. Whoo, Jesus, help me say it. We got to clean this up, y'all. We got to clean it up. Stop calling people pagan because they call out folks on this. Oklahoma schools head Ryan Walters. Teachers who won't teach the Bible could lose their license. God help us. God help us. You turn this thing theocracy in real, and it's got nothing to do with God ruling and reigning over the thing. You replaced that God with another one, which is the same one you see in the Bible. I need to say it. It's the same one you see in the Bible that made all of humans, right? Then all of a sudden you see God telling Abram to go to lands and take lands from innocent people. Do you think, ladies, and I gotta say it, do you think, I know the flack I'm gonna get for it, I don't care. Do you think that is God alone telling innocent folks to go kill innocent folks? That you know from one blood. This is what the Bible tells you, right? Ain't this what your Bible tells you? I get a chance to talk about it, y'all. Tell everybody to tune in on this one. Y'all tune in on this one, man. It's going to be passionate, but it's necessary. Because this is the heart of the matter. And we got to stop, y'all. We got to stop. Acts, the 17th chapter. This may get a little bit preachy today, and I apologize, but you know what? Again, where are my preachers? Where are my teachers? Where are my philosophers at? See, I didn't say theologians. I said where are my philosophers at, right? Where are the philosophers at? Excuse me. I've been listening to myself do that on these podcasts. Because again, we listen back, y'all. We just don't speak to y'all with just blah, blah, blah. No. We listen with purpose. We speak with purpose here. This is the point. And because we ain't been doing it, we had to listen to that garbage from Joe Biden and Donald Trump yesterday or 2 days ago, right? Or a couple of days ago, whenever it was. Who cares anyway, by the way, because it's the same thing they do to you, whether they stand up in a stage at some pulpits and stands and say it or don't. It's the same thing. Same spewage that you hear going on in churches. Because, see, they think that Jezebel is transgenders and homosexual people and everybody screwing everybody anywhere. Instead of the fact that you allow Nero and Herod, King Henry, to run and reign supreme, King James, to run and reign supreme in the things that God does not want, right? The one that loved us and sent a way for us to escape serious issues, right? That's the whole idea behind the story of Jesus, right? Because see, someone, and in this case, I know y'all like to say for the problems of life that need to be fixed, hey, you see it, you go do it. No. What you see as one is, as the Bible says, the first begotten of many. So that doesn't mean that one person now goes and fixes problems where many have to do it. We need to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, early church. You go back, you want to get an idea of where this thing really is for real. You go back to Acts. Study this thing after it just begins. I know how everybody likes to do this whole, well, this wasn't written till this and that was this, and the guys stop looking at the letter of the law, start looking at the connection points in the spirit of the law. Again, these things are given they are hidden, but they're clearly there for you to see, right? Let me just get this here. Okay. Acts 17, verse 26 is where the point I'm bringing home is. But the rest of it, we're going to read along. Because again, we don't like doing just one verse. If it is truly out the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, then that's how it goes, right? Paul tried to address some things, standing on Mars Hill, talking to some folks in Greece, and said, "Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious." And that's verse 22. Verse 21 is a little parenthesis, so this is a side note. For all the Athenians and strangers, again, people pass through the lands. Keep that in mind, y'all, because that has to do with today. Like you don't like the fact migrants are coming. See, again, you need to hold your government accountable for allowing too many to come over to drown you out. But people are supposed to pass through the borders. Anyway, I know y'all need it legal, but again, maybe you need to make some leeway since your European ancestors were able to come over here illegally. Oh, no, that's not okay, KJ. They turned away some of them, this, that, and the other. Yeah, but it was okay. So why are we so rigid today? Oh, I know why we're rigid today. And it's got nothing to do with jobs and money and all that being taken away. Nobody wants to lose their stuff. No different than the group of Europeans who thought it was okay in the 1600s and before that to come over and take someone else's stuff, right? This is the repeated pattern nobody wants to talk about. This is the stuff they skirt over, which is why that's where the main issue is. And why we keep suffering because we don't. And one of the ways that they used to hide that main issue was with the Bible. In the 1500s, you can look and see that they made a slave Bible. They wanted to make sure that the workforce, captured workforce, stayed very docile and didn't make insurrections and disruptions to the society they wanted to create. using their creative ability improperly. Do you think that stands well with your Creator? Do you? And this is why I asked this question during the Halloween episode. What do you believe, y'all? And I think it's getting clear what people believe. For the Athenians and strangers, which were, this is verse 21, which were there, spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear something new. There's other verses I'm not going to go into now. I'm going to wait to bring them out. But there's this idea where that's all folks just want to do. Y'all just want to hear. I know there's the one about itching ears, but there's other ones where y'all just want to hear. You just want to sit around and hear gossip all day long. You know, folks who have nothing else but time to sit there and gossip about somebody, y'all leave them alone. And you watch that you don't start doing it too, because it's infectious, like a virus, right? Stay away from that mess. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. The very appearance of evil. You ain't got no time to do anything while they work you dry at work, while your home life is destroyed because they worked you dry at work. And the workers do not do anything to stand up for it, thinking somebody going to bail them out. Or one or two people going to do something. That's not how it works. Take a page from what you see going on in coffee land right now, right? Somebody got to stand up to do something. We talked about that on this podcast, that article about Starbucks. It's a real thing. While we keep going back and forth about who funding Israel or Palestine, neither one should be funding either one of them because, again, nobody's supposed to be fighting, but I digress. So you're just standing around trying to hear what new going on. Then Paul comes out and says the following. You men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you're too superstitious. For I passed by and behold your devotions. Again, this is what they were doing. This is the devotion, what you're devoted to. It's not just a spiritual thing. Look up the word devoted. And when you look up the word devoted, go past the stuff that deals with spiritual stuff. I found an altar with this inscription to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him I declare unto you. You ignorantly worship, excuse me. Ignorantly. I guess. Same kind of thing, because you're ignoring a thing. God hath made the world, and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life. Wow, I really guess all lives do matter. And breath. And we got to clean that up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't sit there and say all lives matter and you're willing to go over all the other lives. Man, you're only concerned about the white ones? Is that how this works? The so-called white ones, excuse me, because that word is made up. Really? You're only caring about the European ones? What about the rest of them? Yeah, I know. We've heard the excuses before. Again, can we make up new ones? Can we make up the other ones going the other way? Can you do it? Life is depending upon you to do it. Can you do it? Right? And breath and all things. Verse 26, and hath made of one blood, or from, that word of is also from, all nations of people. Again, they say men, we get it. For to dwell, or that are dwelling on all the face of the earth. For y'all who thinking this planet was uninhabited, and then, oops, a piece of candy. That's not how this works, y'all. Hey, I know what they telling you. That's not how this works. Do you really think God would make just one group of people right there in the beginning and that's it? Just Adam and Eve for the whole planet, y'all? Never mind. That's cool. Again, to each their own, right? And no wonder people think the Bible is contradictory, because folks ain't putting the two and two together. And this is what you want to teach to the kids? You don't even have, the only reason you're going to sit there and preach this Bible is so that you can keep talking about how wrong homosexuality and transgenderism is, and how you don't have sex here, and you don't drink there, and we don't smoke this grass here. And do you have any dues? Is it only to go to church, raise hands, and worship God every Sunday? Make sure you give taxes to your government and tithes to the church. Is that it, y'all? I'm sorry. I'm out of balance. It is. It is. Somebody in the church somebody who believes in this thing needs to stand up and say it. And normally this is right about the time where your kings, how do they say it in Humpty Dumpty? All the king's horses and all the king's men. Yeah, this is when y'all come out now. This is the cue. Jesus. Break away from the programming. Oh, man. Oh my God. Whew. Anyway. To dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined, I'm going to read it because I'm going to go there, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us, which goes in line with this thought process in the Old Testament. Going to Psalm 139, right? We're talking about, I don't have to remember a thing. I don't need to know it verbatim. I want the words down on the inside. You see, this is more than just you teaching me. And this man came out to say, which we'll read a little bit more in this article. How far are we into the thing here? Because I don't want to hold you on long. 23 minutes. Yeah, we 7 minutes in, we're gonna wrap this thing up, right? And this man gonna talk about it's historical. I don't even know if y'all know some of the places in which are happening when you read certain verses in the Bible to talk about historically based. Anyway, to quote Lizzo, anyway, Psalm 139 verse 1, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. If you known me means you know me, means you will know me. You knows me, right? We're going to use our best Southern black line. You knows me, Lord. Yes, and amen, right? Thou knowest my sitting, my down sitting, my sitting, okay? And my uprising or my rising, okay? You understand my thoughts from way off. Talk about Professor X, yo. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. God trying to get people to play the game, man. You would think the Creator would know, right? The Creator would know. The one who fashioned and designs this knows, y'all. It is time for us to wake up. See, again, as my black brothers and sisters used to say, stay woke. There is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it all together. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and hast laid thine hand upon me. We've read what goes on when you are born. Isaiah 61, that's your gifts given to you. You find them out as you go along in life, and it's also up to the parent in which to recognize those things in you, which means they need to recognize certain ones in themselves, for them to be able to guide you in your way as you grow up in life. But I digress. Verse 6, such knowledge is too wonderful for me, and it is a lot. Like we've told y'all in studying about what's gone on with the races, as they call it, because it shouldn't be a competition, but this is what y'all turn business to, where you built in inflation and then make excuse for it, throwing off prices and wages for folks. But I digress. It is high, and I cannot attain to it. You're not going to reach all of it. Yet your Bible tells you that knowledge is hidden in earthen vessels, which means there's some stuff you can find, use a whole lot. There's is a whole lots you can find out, right? This isn't to make fun of a thing, by the way, y'all. This is a serious thing. We tie in two thoughts together because folks play too much DID. You are all encompassing, multifaceted, like God, all together, right? It's time we understand this. Whether you accept it or not, it's a whole other story. But at least at this point, you can't be like, hey, nobody told me. Because too much of that is going on. That happens at work. You hold people accountable for stuff. Ain't nobody took the time to train them. Anytime you're in an environment where the managers, the bosses are not okay openly training somebody, they tell you to go find out the information. Yeah, that's where you know it's not a very good working environment. Anybody wanting to hide info from you don't want you knowing something so they can control you. That's not a good working environment, y'all. Just a side note. Verse 7, where shall I go from your essence, spirit, life, essence? Where can I go? Is there anywhere I can hide from you? Where? Because again, where the back half of 7 says, where shall I flee from thy presence? Can you hide from God? Adam and Eve couldn't. Right? You know, the guy who said, hey, Lord, this is the wife you gave me? Yeah. Gosh, man. If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, again, some translations will say She-Hulk. You know, there's like 900 versions of the Bible. What are y'all doing, man? I understand we got to break the thing down, but yeah, all we need to do is study Greek and Hebrew, break it down for people to understand, right? Study the historical places of which these things are happening in the Bible. Break it down for people to understand. Why do you make it? I know why. I know why. See, like we keep saying on this podcast, humans make it complex. God has made it very simple. As complex as life is with osmosis and how plants grow. We in summertime right now, right? I know everybody like to rush it because it's hot outside. Again, hey, y'all, get used to the climate. This is the earth we on, right? Never mind. Anyway, so it's, but you just make sure you keep people out there working in that hot sun a little bit longer so never mind. We'll leave that alone. See, again, slavery ain't went nowhere. It just morphed into something different because it's in the hearts of people. Still looking down on somebody because of your skin tone, because of your hairstyle, because of how you speak, because of how you walk, whether you're skinny or whether you're fat, whether they think you're smart or whether they think you're dumb, because they are putting certain knowledge requirements on folks. I hope they teach that. I hope what we're talking about right now, they teach that from the Bible in school. I bet you they don't. I bet you they don't. I bet you we revert back to what they did, taking out verses, making the slave Bible to keep the slaves docile. I bet you they do. Because again, when you don't study history and when you are not repented, you repeat it. Just like you do it in the good. Yeah, so if I make my bed in hell, you're there. So know how, what's the song? Ain't no mountain, right? Marvin Gaye, right? And the sister that was on the track with him. Yeah, ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough, right? Same thing. If you go up into heaven, God's there. If you go in space, it don't, never mind. Yeah, we're going to talk this part because since this is what y'all want to talk about in Oklahoma, you know, Indian territory. You know, where you move the natives from Florida to Indian territory, which is still their territory anyway, that later you call Oklahoma. You know, what a farce in Oklahoma. You want to talk about the land rush. Ain't no land rush. You want to talk about how land was taken from someone else, forcefully given to someone else. Ain't nobody running for land. You know, what they did was run the people off the land and tried to run on migrants on the land, that we keep doing this DID like we don't know what that is. Until this day, you've got everything set up from that horrible act that we complain about, the casinos being owned by the natives. Really? Really? That's all right. We gonna keep going around the mountain, ladies and gentlemen, until we get it. I bet you that. I bet you that. Again, history shows it. This is not me saying it from any conjecture or conspiracy. History shows what goes on in the minds of humans. That's why they waste time trying to destroy it. You can't, man. Life always finds a way. Shout out Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, man. Oh, wow. Wow, oh, wow. If I take the wings of the morning, some of my flyers out there, y'all up in the sky, God is there. Dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. Now you chilling with the fishes, man, and the whales and the octopuses and the sea coral. And the depths of the sea man has not touched yet. Or should I say humans have not touched yet, right? God is there. Even there thy hand shall lead me, and their right hand shall hold me. We're going to stop there, y'all. Folks got to understand the thing that you're going to take away. You talk about it in invading upon people. See, again, we told you with this abortion thing, and again, still to this day, people ain't gonna get involved in their everyday government. They're just waiting for this. They're waiting for the home run, y'all. Again, a baseball team don't operate on home runs. Talk to my New York Yankee fans. Yeah, I'm a New York Yankee fan. Shout out one time. We know about the Bronx Bomber part, but it ain't the home run. See, that's the theatrical part you see on the back end, which is clutch. But the thing that works throughout the whole of the game is the good pitching and the good defense, right? This is what us Yankee fans complain about because we ain't got none no more. We piecemeal it together because we need to show the flash so we can keep making money for the team and for the owners, I should say, when we say the team. It's not for the good of the fans, though, which I'll have my sports fans go back and forth on that. That's all right, but that's what's going on. Whenever the Yankees winning, they don't go after that mess. And whenever they lose, and they go after that mess, right? No different than any other team. And it is the same thing with the operating of this nation. When it is great, nobody's coming over here to invade nobody. We're sharing land. We're sharing land. We're sharing property. How did native tribes operate on these lands, y'all? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Maybe you should. When you ask your phone your computer this question, how did native tribes operate in North America? Hunting and gathering, living arrangements, social structure. In the social structure, certain women held positions of power. Y'all all about this male-dominated mess. Don't realize you're on a team. And you're screwing yourselves because in team play, it's only one person. Good and happy trails to you. Trying as one person to deal with the whole of life. I hope it works well for you. Again, God has said it's not good for humans to be alone. More specifically, it's not good for man to be alone. But whatever. Is what it is, right? Social structure. Although you had men go out for hunting and all that kind of thing, and the women were responsible for food and childcare, notice how they both blend over. Now, again, when you ask Google this, you can do this on any one of these things here. They'll come up with something to tell you because, again, as people study, they post it online. Just like as they studied, they wrote it in a book, which is why when you read the different explorers' books, you see how full of mess all this is. Because who they said was black wasn't. Who they said was white wasn't. Who they said was Indian wasn't. But because they look down on people, they just put you all in the same boat. And then have y'all fighting over it years later. That sounds like some real European falsehood type mess, y'all. Anyway. So it's pulling from this AI thing is starting now. So it's kind of changed how you look up something. Still, down at the bottom, they'll tell you the different articles they're pulling from. One is Native American Heritage. Another one is History.com. Another one is Native Hope. Britannica, World History Encyclopedia, the United States Department of, let's see what this one is. United States Department of Tribal Justice. You know, again, because everybody's called a family now, they're not called tribes anymore. I wonder why. I guess if you're not recognizing certain tribes and you just toss them aside, we might as well toss aside the word tribe too. But I digress. Native Americans, look at the word family, y'all. One of the synonyms for the word, for the noun or the word family, is brood. Household, a group of one or more parents and the children living together as a unit. Lineage, family tree, forebears, forefathers. And I said I was gonna stop here, so let's just. When you say tribe, of course, they got to make it look spooky, which is fine. Again, part of it here, as far as biology, a taxonomic category that ranks above genus and below family or subfamily, usually ending in INI, like in zoology, or EAE, like in botany. Do not think that these terms only go to animals and plants, y'all. Seriously? This is coming from Oxford, by the way. A social division in a traditional society consisting of families. A family's a tribe, y'all. We gotta, no, you don't, we don't go, oh, hey, we're going to take the Bible now because it's a historical book. This is what some of these things this man has said. Y'all can go read the articles. Again, we told you about this one here from NBC News. You go look up this stuff. This is where they're going with this, y'all. This is no different than going back in the day. And this got nothing to do with the other religions or the other beliefs of the world, which you would find out a whole lot if you studied the other beliefs of the world. Then what starts to happen is you see how a lot of them coincide. That starts to blow your mind more. We again, come together, stop fighting. Come together, stop fighting. That I don't even know how else to say it. That's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for going over here a few more minutes, but a topic like this, your boy can go on for a while because of the fact there is an innate danger that we don't realize that we are repeating from history all over again. Using the Bible to go populate worlds, rob other religions from other people, or other beliefs from other people, saying how pagan they are instead of letting people live in peace. All so that Rome could create a holiday using the Bible as its purpose, so that a nation could be all born from nothing, from another groups of people's tribes and lands, using the Bible to do it. I know they don't want to talk about what happened with the Dutch and King Leopold, but yet you invade Africa. And I gotta say it, right? Matter of fact, it's necessary to say. I want my listening audience to know about this. Excuse me one second. So, there is a thing that happened in Belgium. God help me say this. It's not even funny. Because of the missionaries sent over there, man, making these people work. My African brothers and sisters, one time, shout out to y'all to us, the dark skin tones that have so held up under oppression. What strength there is, not only in people, but in the dark skin tone people to stay strong up under this oppression. that seemingly comes sometimes from inside our own group and from the European. In Belgium, those who refused to work got their hands cut off. So much so that they made chocolate hands, as this is something you can look on right now. What I'm looking at, this happened in the Congo, and this article I'm getting it from is samepassions.org. Chocolate candy hands. This is as of, let's see here. Let's see if they leave the date on this article. Has a video at the end of it. So this is something that y'all can look at. It doesn't show a date to it, but it shows chocolate candy hands. I'm sure this is stopped by now, but still. Something that y'all need to know, because this was happening at one point. Money was made off of somebody else's hands, y'all. Literally. Still sold in Belgium despite Congo genocide of King Leopold. Okay, so this is coming from samepassage.org. And all you got to look up is can't now. What I looked up in doing this, because I've already looked at this and I was sickened by it. Chocolate hands origin, and then it leads you down to, now again, I've already seen the article, so I've already seen the information about it, so I knew where to look. But when this is on Bing.com, and you scroll down after you put that in your search. Again, chocolate hands origin, and you go down and you look at chocolate candy hands still sold. This was August of 2020. As I'm looking at the link. Okay, and then when you go into it, they talk to you about. Now again, I know from the overview, which I didn't want to find out when I found out about it, but whatever, right? They worked for them. They didn't want to work for them. They cut off their hands. Now again, at the same time, we're talking about invading the lands and using the Bible to soften up people to be slaves, to then have this happen to them. All dealing with greed, nothing dealing with holiness, all dealing with greed. Anybody who stands up for the Bible and the holy tenets therein, you need to stand up and be counted for when you see stuff like this. Because again, this is the danger where it's going. You don't make no mandate. If people want to learn the Bible, so be it. Is God making a mandate on you to learn the Bible? Hold on now. Hold on. Is God making a mandate on you to learn the Bible? Nope. So whoever will, let him come. That's what the Bible tells you. Again, to those who have ears to hear, let him hear. Where is a mandate made? You have the choice to choose whether you believe in Jesus Christ or not. For salvation from this life to the next, you have the choice. So where does it come off where a government official can tell someone to use a holy book? You know what? Since you care so much about Bible, go do that. Go do that with the Quran, right? Go do that with the Torah. You don't ever see people do that in the Torah. Where are you teaching the Torah in public schools? Never mind. Folks are okay defending something that does not defend them. And as the great James Baldwin said, why would I pledge my allegiance to something that does not pledge allegiance to me? At least in just reading the Psalms with you, God is with you wherever you go. Not some creepy sense. They're with you to help you, no matter where you go. So that's what I got for y'all. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I'm stopping. Okay. Thank you for walking this road here with me. There's just some things I had to share on this subject. We got another one coming up here soon, so y'all stay tuned to that one. Hopefully we'll make that one a little bit shorter. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, look to find the beauty in a different view.